At this Colorado-Cincinnati game, USC commits Julian Lewis and Carde Smith were at the game, and you actually spoke to them, I believe. Just what were your thoughts? Obviously, they were there taking in Buff's victory against Cincinnati. The atmosphere, obviously, insane atmosphere, I'm sure. Go ahead. What were your thoughts of this, and what did you have to say to them?
Well, look, I didn't go over and harp on them, obviously. Yeah. I saw them when we were inside eating and walked up and introduced, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. And then during the game was just look, they were enjoying it just like the fans were. They're cheering and getting all pumped up, and which is good. You don't want to look over and have them be like,
yeah.
So, again, dude, if we make one political joke, all you fucking pussies don't need to get all up in arms. This is why I make fun of Democrats, because y'all are about as sensitive gets. So again, I'm right in the middle. You need to calm down and go get your comfort dog and fucking call your therapist.
Yeah.
Shocking. Look, Juju and Smith, I think will flip both of them. I really do. I think Smith goes first. Loadhold has done a great job of building that relationship. And the beauty of it is it's the product. They're not selling something. It's like 6-0. I don't sell training or opportunity. I don't sell recruiting. The product and the standard that has been there for 15 years sells itself.
Yep.
If you come to see me and you book a consult, your kid can play. Nobody that comes, no scrubs come in and they're like, can I get a consult? And I'm like, no. But I don't even say no. The parents know the difference. They're not stupid.
Yep.
It's just not for everybody. CU Boulder's not for everybody, dog. So the fact that these two are there, they're standing next to each other, they're sitting there talking about, hey, it looked pretty good if Seton was left tackle and you were right tackle and I was playing quarterback next year. I think that looks pretty good too. And the other thing is, I'm not saying they won't have to compete for the jobs here, but at USC, they've got other guys in front of them. CU, I'm not saying that Stab won't be in competition and Proctor and all these other guys and some of the other offensive linemen, but Coach Prime can pretty much say to these guys, look, there's big time opportunity. If you come in and do your job, you could potentially start for us as a freshman. Look at Jordan. Yeah, that's the kind of player we think you are. Now, Smith isn't Jordan Seton, but he's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
So even if he does have to come in and redshirt for a year and learn, then what? You get him for 4 or 5 years as a redshirt freshman? Bummer. So Ponder, excuse me, not Proctor. My bad. I get names wrong sometimes. I got hit in the head a lot. All you fucking excellent people that correct me. Thank you very much. Thought I was going to go the other way there, huh? I think that these two could reshape the way they recruit. Getting Jordan last year was huge. Obviously, getting Shador and Travis in the portal was huge, but that was expected, right?
Yep.
I think that flipping guys from SC, 2 of them, that obviously have talked about going to SC together, and now you could flip them, bring them to Boulder. I think it would set an incredible precedent for Coach Prime and CU to pretty much get whoever they want. They just flipped an outstanding defensive lineman, kid under 6 foot club. That's like an Aaron Donald, John Randall type. They flipped that kid. They got the 4-star receiver from Arizona State to flip, and he's been committed to 6 places, but I don't really give a shit. Coach JB would be losing his mind over this. But then again, every coach that's worth the shit, in my opinion, gets another job somewhere else and goes somewhere else. So I can't be real mad at the kids for chasing it when the coach. So there's the hypocrisy of that shit. So I just, bro, I'm impressed. I think that both of these guys will flip eventually, and I'm not the only one. And the full court press they put on their recruits, and I know the way they do this because Zane DeZuzo, our big tight end, is committed to CU, and they offered Deacon the other day, and they are full court pressing both of them hard. Deacon was at Kansas State this weekend, and they offered him before CU did, and Loadholt was like, why is Schmidt at KSU? And I was like, they offered him. He goes, can't have that. And I'm like, oh, shit, yeah, man, this is what I'm talking about. So, I talked to Coach Devin Raspire, one of the recruiting coordinator guys, for a long time about making sure Breck is good. How do we make sure Breck gets up here? I know he's down in the South, and it's easier to go to those games. And I'm like, I'll get on the phone with him, and I'll just tell him like he needs to be here for Utah or Oklahoma State. And he does. So they're putting the full court pressure on that son of a bitch. So, man, I'm impressed by the recruiting and how they do it. The recruiting staff. Look, Corey Phillips, the recruiting coordinator, like the guy who seems to me like he's in charge of everything. Mm-hmm. Corey, I applaud you.
Yep.
Brother. He's super professional. He knows what he's doing. He's not afraid to tell you what's on his mind, which I respect the fuck out of, because so many people are like dodge around me and don't really tell me the truth, but he's not one of them. He'll tell you if he doesn't like a player. He'll tell you if he doesn't like your presence. He'll tell you everything. And that's what I'm looking for, man shit. And I really think Corey's really on the, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a GM somewhere one day, or the GM at CU, because now there's general managers in college. So I think that the receiving core they're bringing in, the offensive lineman they're bringing in, the attention to detail with the defensive and offensive linemen now, not just bringing in skill players, like, of course the skill players want to come play at CU. They have eyes. But now if you're a big guy, now you're looking at this and you're like, wow, they got dudes. Like and not only do they have players, but look at who's coaching. Like, you got Load Hole coaching them. You've got who set the market at right tackle right back in the day. And then you look down on the field. At one point, Coach Prime and Coach Sapp were talking to one of the defensive ends, and I was just sitting there like, I wish I was that defensive end. You know how much knowledge Homeboy is getting right now from just gold wearing jacket. Arguably the best player at his position ever at 3 technique in Warren Sapp, and the best player at his position ever in Coach Prime. Yep. So we're getting in arguments in the stands like, I think Coach Sapp's the best 3 technique ever. Well, I think Aaron Donald is. And the fact that we're even having because he's 5 feet away from us. So, man, I just, the attention to detail is awesome. And look, from Devin to Corey, the entire recruiting staff, all the young ladies that were helping everybody, that tip of the cap to you all, super professional, like very, very focused on making sure that they're accommodating the needs of the guys that were there and the parents and the families, and like, it was extremely professional, and I was blown away by it. And this is a weekly thing, because they invite up Nick every damn week, and it's awesome. So, like, as a freshman, you're sitting there, and obviously Nick isn't getting the same treatment that 5-star seniors are getting, right? And that's good, because it's like they're fishing with the young guys too. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, there's one level of recruits here, and then there's another level of recruits here. And if you want to get on this level, the potential that got you in the room has got to be maximized so you can get in the other room with Coach Prime. And I'm sitting there like, I've never really seen it done like that either.
Yeah.
It's even more like fuel to the fire. So I get in the car after the game with Nick, and I'm like, you fucking motivated? He's like, yeah, I can't wait to be in Coach Prime's office one day. And I'm sitting there like, fuck yes, dude, here we go. And there's like, just selfishly to sit there and hear the fans and everybody behind us, because I'm not gonna blow my own horn, but I can't walk 5 feet up there without getting recognized, taking pictures and shit. And now it's happening to him. And they're sitting there like, hey, are you gonna choose CU when it's time to choose? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, shh, don't play right now. What are you doing?
But that's awesome, man.
And like I love that place to death. And like, for my son to be even good enough to get invited, and for him to be put on this pedestal that he earned, the pride I have inside my chest for my kid and that place, if that does ever happen, if it comes to fruition one day, I don't know if I'll be able to control myself, dog. Like, I'm going to be crying like a motherfucker. I'm going to need somebody to hug me. Like, I don't know if I can't even keep myself together thinking about it right now. So, that on top of like all the recruits that were there and the potential for CU to bag these kids and for them to walk in and help immediately, for me to be in the room because my kid's there too, like it was fucking nuts, dude. And it's, again, The power of Coach Prime and his program and the way that they make you feel while you're sitting there looking at it going, God, this is so special. And then they go, nah, man, you're the special one. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, like it's big time and it's real. And I'm telling you, I think it's one of the reasons why so many people don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't fabricate it. You can't fake it. And you can't make it up. Like you can try. I know it's a copycat league, right? Football's all copycat, Bailey, right? We know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know how you can copy this, dog.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how any program in the country can copy this. No one.